Of every version of every time period of a character in JJS, I think pre-version 1.67 Megumi is going to be a character I never forget. When it comes to power level, pre-version 1.67 Megumi completely eclipsed the rest of the game. The only character in his league was Choso, and even that wasn't even debatable. It was absolutely Megumi number one. I decided to suddenly make this video because I was thinking to myself, pre-nerf Megumi might have genuinely held 4 of the top 5 base moves in the game at the time. Rabbit Escape, Toad, Nue, Totality, these 4 are moves any other character would pray to have. Just imagine you give a character like Todo, Nue. Immediately he jumps to like possibly top 5 level, maybe top 3 level. Because if Todo had Nue, Boogie Woogie would be the threat people pretend it is right now. A move that forces no other option but to dodge, when Todo also has a movement attacking option and Boogie Woogie to mess with the positions of the opponent, he would minimum become top 4 overnight. And that's just with Nue. The amount of versatility in Megumi's moves is not seen anywhere in any other character. Not even Yuta has that much versatility in his kit. Especially pre-buff Yuta. Side note, I'm happy people are finally seeing that Haymaker over Grab was in fact a buff. Yuta was top 3 regardless before version 1.67, but still. His only real weakness pre-buff was the fact that he didn't have a block break at all. Not only did Haymaker deliver the block break that Yuta actually needed, but you were never using Grab pre-nerf anyway. Okay, never is a stretch, but in almost every situation, I find that down slam was just better. Down slam is saving you from a revolve evasive punish. Down slam is giving you the freest combo extenders. Down slam is executing people at red HP for free, basically. It's unavoidable. I just felt as if even before Haymaker was traded in for Grab, down slam was just a better option almost every single time. Like pound for pound, every time. But I'm getting distracted. Yuta's besides the point. Going back to Megumi, Rapid Escape is probably... Pre-nerf Megumi, Rapid Escape was probably the best move in the game in the context of a character's kit. Like, Rapid Escape is still really powerful, but it loses a bit of the utility it had before because Dog Slam loops can't really carry the majority of Megumi's damage. One Dog Slam loop is doing upwards of 42 damage and a minimum of 30 damage. This was incredible value for Megumi because getting a way to engage basically for free while not hampering the rest of your damage was something no other character had in the game. The 14 damage from Rabbit Escape did not matter in the slightest when Totality and Dog Slam loops were basically making up the difference and extra. After you pressed one button and gain priority for free, Megumi is hitting you with 3M1's down slam into Nue, then down slam into Toad into front dash 3M1's uppercut. That's gonna deal what? 14 for the down slam, 16 for Nue, so 30, another 4 for the down slam, another 8 for Toad, front dash, 3M1's uppercut. So in total, off of one move, you're gaining 60 damage. Mind you, this is before the Dog Slam loops, and this is off of a move that you get for free. No other character was matching this damage output even outside of Dog Slam loops. I just realized the combo that I said before, where you do down slam into Nue into Toad, the better order to do actually is down slam into Toad into Dog Slam loops, because then you save Nue. It's very important that you save Nue because Nue is integral to Megumi's neutral game. I say this all the time to my friends, but Nue is the most underrated move in the entire game, bar none. You can put people in what I like to call a jail with Megumi. You do like one M1 on their block, throw out Nue, and then you immediately start M1ing again to try and catch their side dash out of the way. Because the only way to avoid Nue is to side dash. You can't counter it, you can't block it, you can't do nothing about it. This is even better if the opponent just wasted their side dash, because at that point they have no options. They can only get hit by the move and get punished. And this isn't like a gimmick move. It's not like reversal red counter. It's not like Boogie Woogie, where it's like a one-time thing. It's gonna catch you off guard once and then you'll never do it again. This is a real thing you can do consistently because Nue is that good. So yeah, Nue and aerial flowing red scale. I didn't talk about that one. I'm going to talk about that during the Choso guide, but those are the 2 most underrated moves in the game for free. There's one more thing about Nue that really elevated his position. Megumi's evasive baiting game, aside from Locust, it might actually have been the best ever. And it might still be the best ever. No, it's not. That's a lie. It's not the best ever for a reason that I'll talk about just after this. But with Megumi, if you delay, after a down slam, if you delay the Nue, the opponent is forced to guess. It's a guessing game they enter every single time you down slam, because if you delay your Nue and they get up before they evasive, they can't dash out of the move in time, and they get hit with Toad, and they get hit with a full punish. This is an extremely consistent way of evasive baiting using Nue. And you might think, oh, I'll just dash out, because if the Megumi player is going to wait until I get up before he uses the Nue, then I'm going to just dash out of the way. But the thing is, if Megumi times it correctly and Nue comes out like just right before you get up, then you can't evasive. And then you're trying to dash. Okay, let me dash out of this move. But Megumi is going to be right next to you and he can M1 you. M1ing you before version, I think it's 1.67, before that update, getting M1'd on wake up would cancel your momentum entirely. So you can't dash out of that. So getting down slammed by Megumi while he had Nue available always puts you in a guessing game scenario. And last thing, once Nue comes out, you can't cancel it anymore. So yeah, Nue is just an incredible tool, incredibly versatile, definitely one of the more underrated moves in the game. It also just does generally high damage. 16 damage is crazy. Choso's flowing red scale grounded with an orb does 17 damage, and that move is crazy good already. For comparison, Toto's brute force does 17.5 damage, which is like 1.5 more than Nue, and it has a fifth of the versatility, a fraction of what Nue can do. All of these moves can't really be put together without how good of a move Toad is. What lets Nue be such an effective evasive baiting tool, and what lets Totality be so incredible as a neutral tool, is because of how ridiculous a move Toad is. Outside of Toto's Black Flash, I don't think it would be ridiculous to argue that Toad had the highest amount of damage in a single move in the game. The only competitors were Charged Piercing Blood and Charged Garuda Rebound, which both dealt 24 damage. Compare this to Toad, which is dealing 8 damage plus a front dash plus 4 M1s every single time you land the move without fail. That means the move is dealing 26 damage. That's more than any other base move, outside of Toto's Black Flash of course. And this is a move that comboed directly out of Totality and out of Nue. So yeah, every single one of Megumi's moves had top 5 arguments, and all of them were solid. But those nerfs, the post version 1.67 nerfs hit Megumi like a meteor. Megumi is still top 3, which in my opinion is indicative of a bigger problem where the overall power level of the game keeps dropping with every update, but that's a topic for another video. If the next update doesn't come with buffs like across the board for the game, then that'll definitely be a topic that I address later in a different video. Megumi has dropped down in usage a lot because his consistency feels a lot less. Rather than being a safe character that you could react to his hits from, he feels more like a character where you have to guess and like act preemptively. Let's go back to Nue for example. I said before that Nue is less effective as an evasive baiting tool because of the changes during the 1.67 update. The reason this is the case is because of the slight decrease in ragdoll duration for Nue. This, on the surface, really doesn't seem like a big issue. It's very clear that lowering the ragdoll duration of Nue was to patch out Nue into Rabbit into Toad, and I'm making this assumption because of how tiny the decrease was. This didn't even hurt Megumi's unevasible combos that bad. It only removed like 4 damage from it, because instead of Nue, Rabbit's, Toad, now all you have to do is Nue, Toad, then you do Rabbit Escape variant. The damage is still the exact same, so nothing actually changed there. And no hate to these testers, but I don't believe that they actually nerfed Nue's ragdoll duration with the goal of making Nue a worse neutral tool. I don't believe that. Maybe I'm a hater, but like, I just don't think the testers are that knowledgeable to nerf Nue knowingly in that way. Regardless, the fact of the matter is, Nue was nerfed in that way, and it really affected Megumi's neutral presence. Because now, you can't just react to Nue hitting and hit a Toad and get your full combo off. The ragdoll time being decreased makes Toad a lot less of a safe option after Nue. And Nue isn't really the only move in Megumi's kit that was altered in its ragdoll duration like this. Totality was too, but I'm pretty sure this one was accidental. I don't think this was on purpose. If the opponent is too close and also lying flat on their back from a ragdoll or something, the second Totality swipe after you hit them with the first one won't actually send them at an upwards angle, meaning they'll just slide across the floor and get up really quickly from their ragdoll. This is horrible for Megumi because it won't combo into Toad at all, so the move loses a ton of its consistency as a combo tool, making it indirectly affect its neutral ability. The last move I'm going to talk about is Toad, and also Wells' Unknown Abyss, which is the Toad variant. Toad, I think, was a great nerf. I think it's completely fine. It should have done no damage to begin with, because at minimum it's 14 damage. A 14 damage M1 combo extender that you can get on ragdolled opponents, it's a more consistent Mahito chain whip, and that move is already broken. Toad being nerfed wasn't really an unexpected development at all. What I do think is like, it's completely fruitless. I don't think there's any reason to try and invest anything into it, is Wells' Unknown Abyss. The move does 12 damage now, which is still less than Toad even after its nerfs, and it doesn't serve the function that Toad has of stalling cooldowns a little bit, nor does it have the same consistency as Toad. Buffing the move is fine, but it feels like the balancers are trying to make this move an actual use case scenario in matches, which doesn't make sense to me because it's never going to be better than Toad in a way that's still balanced. At the end of the day, this move is just a gimmick move to me. It's something fun to mess around with in public servers, but it's never going to see actual use. So yeah, I just wanted to do a small little glazing video on pre-nerf Megumi because he was that good. He was really that powerful. He was that guy. So while he's top 3, I don't think I'm going to be using Megumi much anymore because it feels like he's lost a lot of his identity. I'm probably going to be focused on more like Yuta. I think Yuta's pretty fun. I'm going to be focused more on Mekamaru. I think Mekamaru is really fun, and I think he's going to get buffs later, this week at least. That's going to make him even more enjoyable to use. I think Choso's cool too. I don't really use him though because I find him boring, really. I'll talk about this in the Choso guide that I make next week, but Choso is really just, he has a decently high skill floor, and that makes people so afraid of trying him out as if he has the highest skill ceiling ever. When in reality, I think Choso has one of the most simple game plans in this game, like one of the most simple aside from the M1 merchants. But I'll talk about that more later in a different video. So yeah.